Who's ready for a great show today? We're going to take a late summer stroll down the Walk of Fame, a podcast where Hillary and I take a deep dive with actors, filmmakers, all about the craft of cinema. We're going to walk the walk, but can we talk the talk? Either way, you win. Hillary, what do you think?
Brian, you and I have both been on the Walk of Fame, both literally on Hollywood Boulevard and figuratively through our work as entertainment journalists and film and television critics. But now it's time for us to take a walk in our guest shoes, Rudy Ramos.
Oh, yes, Rudy Ramos, who you might have seen in things like Helter Skelter, Hawaii Five-O, MacGyver, Quicksilver, Beverly Hills Cop 2, the one-man show about Geronimo, and most recently Yellowstone. He's legendary. He's an intercontinental champion of cinema, and we're so happy to have you, Rudy. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be in your show. Very nice to be in your show. I'm looking forward to this hour or however long we go. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Let's start like in The Sound of Music at the very beginning here. At what point, Rudy, did the cinema first flicker to life for you? Was it a single film? Was it a dog-eared paperback book? Or something more ephemeral that first captured your imagination and you refused to let that oomph go to get you into movies?
Well, it happened. It was an accident for me. I had just left Oklahoma and I came to California. I was working in a shoe store. I'd been here maybe 6 months or something like that. And I met somebody when I was selling shoes one afternoon. She was on a lunch break and she was just trying on shoes and I'd go get another one and another one. And we started talking and she asked me if I was an actor. And I said, no, no, I'm not. She said, well, you sure have a strong presence that I think would really happen on the screen. And I had no idea what she meant. So she said, when we finished, she gave me a card, and she said, I work at MGM Studio and I work for forget the lady's name, Jane Murray, and she was a legend. She cast all of the shows in the late 60s and 70s, all those TV shows. She was the one. So I hung on to that card for maybe, I don't know, 6 weeks or something like that. And then one day I got a little curious about it. So I called that lady. She set up a meeting with Jane, and I went to MGM, first time I'd ever been on a studio. And we talked for about 20, 25 minutes, and she gave me a lot of good advice, a little bit of lecturing. Um, and then when we finished, she said, now I want you, and she wrote down this number. She said, I want you to call this number. His name is Sherman Marks. And I think he can help you a lot. You're going to learn a lot from him. So I went to see this man, Sherman Marks. He was what was it, the Beverly Hills Playhouse. I walked in, there was nobody in there but him. He was just sitting there smoking a cigarette. We talked for about an hour, and it was an amazing talk because he we were so different. I was young, he was 55 or something like that. He was from New York, I was from Oklahoma. Um, it was just really interesting. But he was talking about acting, and I didn't really know what he was talking about, but I was just fascinated by him, and he was fascinated by me. So he invited me to come to his um, workshop. And he told me what a workshop was, and it was where, actors come in and they work on different things. So the first time I came, I walked in, and there was about 12, no, 12 to 20 people there, and every one of them I had seen on television when I was in Oklahoma. So it was a professional group, and I was I didn't know what to say. And then I watched them work, and it was fun. It was really fun because they were just keeping their chops up until the next job, and that was their commitment to acting. And also, um, well, he never let anybody work longer than 7 minutes because they weren't performing, they were creating and working with an objective. And I was hearing all this for the first time. I didn't know what it meant. So when the evening was over, he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any idea what all that means, but I think I can learn it." And he said, "Okay, well, why don't you come back the next week?" So I kept coming and kept coming, and I asked him, "How much does it charge?" And he said, "You know, no charge. Just you just sit and watch." So that turned into a few months. And then one day I got to do a scene with a lady she was from New York. They were all from New York, and they had come to California. And she was a Broadway actress. And I really learned a lot from her too about all the things he was talking about. So I just kind of, from that very first day, listening to all that, watching really, actors work, I just fell in love with it. That's when I started my career. And Sherman Marks, he was my mentor for 8 years. And I learned a lot from him, really a lot. And he was the only true genius I've ever met until I met Taylor Sheridan. He just sees things that nobody else does, and he will share it with you. So by the time I went to have an audition for the High Chaparral, I was I was pretty ready, to go in and give a reading, and I I got the part my first time out. I was just ready, but I had always been on stage, not on film. So when I went to anyway, you asked about how I get started. That's how I got
No, that's
started.
how you got started. What an incredible story, Rudy,
Yeah.
of being told you have a strong presence while you're working at a shoe store, and then here you are today. I mean, that is just an amazing story. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
So cool.
It and it's true.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
that's where I got started.
Yeah, it's
And
like a
then,
real Discover at Schwab's kind of old Hollywood story, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So, but Rudy, I want to fast forward to present day, and you just mentioned Taylor Sheridan, and you have had the honor and the privilege of being on one of the biggest television shows in history.
Ever.
Um, After High Chaparral, and we can go back and talk about that, but I'm talking about Yellowstone. And could you have ever imagined when you were shooting it what it was like 7, 8 years ago when you first started shooting with Taylor and Kevin Costner? Did you imagine what a huge global sensation this show would become?
No, I did not, but you knew it was special right from the get, right from the first time I went in and auditioned, and I looked at the sides, the two scenes that I was going to be auditioning for. I had never seen writing like that, and especially for someone like myself. It was just, I thought, oh, yeah, yeah, I can make this come alive because it's there. So when we got on set, just the way, just everything about it was a great atmosphere. Everybody everybody that was there for that first day, we all had a load of credits. And so there was no egos. We knew why we were there. We were there to bring those words to life. And that was our job. So we did. There was never any fights at all. We just made it work. Also, I had never worked with three cameras, and everything they do is three cameras. So it was just a real treat. All I had to do was go out and do my job, and everything was good. And we did. And it blew up. It really blew up. I mean, the first episode, when we came out that first season, I think they had 6 million people watch the first episode. And at season five, the first episode of season five, it was like 16 million. So it blew up all over the world. Uh, I've done a lot of, and I've been contacted by a lot of people from all over the world, all over the world. So yeah, no, I did not, to answer your question. I did not think it. I just knew it was special. It was really special. The actors were really special. Taylor is really special. He trusts his actors, and he doesn't leave you alone. But everybody just always heads the right direction because it's there in the writing. So there was never any problems ever. and Kevin was awesome,
Love
really awesome. Both of them are. So I was very fortunate to work with two people like that towards the end of my career.
that's
Rudy, tell us more about your character, Felix Long. And you have mentioned to me previously that he was only intended to be in a couple episodes, and then his character became so integral to the storyline. But tell us more about how that all developed.
Well, I was only supposed to be in the first two episodes. And when I finished the second episode, I was just saying goodbye to everybody and then Taylor too. And he said, well, wait till you see what I wrote for episode six for you. And I just looked at him and what? Because all when I signed, there were five episodes had been written. So he liked what I did. So he wrote me in at six, seven, eight, nine, all the way to the end. And then I came back for a second, second episode, whatever you call it, second season, and then all the way to the end. I was there in the very beginning. I was there for the last one. And in between, there was 14 episodes that I did. So again, that's Taylor. He trusts his actors, and he will just write little stuff on for you because he trusts you.
that's
He's he's
amazing.
am- he's amazing. But I think, well, he's still going. I mean, people are worried about him burning out, and he won't. He's got a lot of energy. He's always doing three things at one time, and he's still young, so he'll know when to slow down. But now's not that time. He's still going.
Still going. That's
Yeah,
cool.
oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah. He's
cool.
he's very cool. I love being around him. He's funny too.
That's great. And going back to what you said a little earlier and just now, you've worked with some of the greatest people in the business,
Hmm.
alongside an inviolable lineup of legends, filmmakers, actors, and everyone in between. Out of all of the advice passed down through those collaborations, like you said earlier, is there one phrase, one line, or one tossed off piece of wisdom that you still find yourself holding on to?
Not one thing because I was with so many people, especially when I was young, that would give me good advice. But one thing, um, I tell you, one of the people that really inspired me was Steve Railsback, and I met him when we did Helter Skelter. And I thought that I was working hard and that I was pretty good. And he's from Wichita Falls, Texas. I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma. So when we first met, boom, we just went best buddies for still now. But I watched how hard he worked. And I mean, he was dedicated. And I thought, boy, I don't know. I don't know anything. I mean, he was living it day and night, for all 6 weeks that we filmed that show. So I just stepped my stuff up and up and up, and I never stopped. I'm still trying to get up and up and up because he was dedicated. I learned, I watched, I saw what it was. He was doing it. It wasn't so much what he said, it was what he was doing. But that has stayed with me. Um, Sherman Marks he gave me a lot. And a lot of it still sticks with me. And I don't even remember where did I get that? Oh, it was Sherman, you know. So, and I didn't know anything, so probably some of it I've forgotten. But the working thing, you have to have training. I think somebody told me you got to have training. You don't just show up and say, okay, it's Tuesday. You think I can be a star by Friday? No. No, but that happens now. The young ones come in and they don't want, they're not on the red carpet, they're gone. But I didn't think I would ever work. I didn't. That's when I started with Sherman Marks. I had no intentions of being an actor. I was just learning about it. And I never thought about it. I never thought that I would be an actor. And it didn't bother me. That's not why I was doing it. When I got an audition, I didn't even have an agent. A friend of mine's wife had an agent, and they were having trouble casting that part, and she got me an audition. That's how that happened. So, yeah, that stuff happens to me. I don't know why. So, some's good, some bad, but the good is good, and the bad is bad. So,
Just
very
like in
bad.
life.
Just exactly like life. But yeah, Steve Railsback really inspired me. Uh, Sherman Marks, and then everywhere you meet somebody that you pick up a little something for. I remember having a class with at Sherman, and it was well, somebody said, well, so what if all this that I'm doing is not working? What do you do? He said, well, then you fake it. That stuck with me, and I went, okay, I see. So, when you get all serious about it and you're living it and being silly, if it's not happening, it's not happening. So that's what you get.
Well, fake it till you make it. That's why it's the
Yeah,
saying.
there you go. You
There you
got
go.
better words than me, but same thing. Thank you.
Yeah, love that.
We've been talking about some big names, and Rudy, you've been in some amazing films, but I want to specifically talk about one of them, and that is the 1988 film Colors, directed by Dennis Hopper.
Yeah,
Um, that I know you've really enjoyed working with him, and we want to hear more about Dennis. But other people in that film, come on, we're talking Sean Penn,
yeah,
Don Cheadle, Robert Duvall, and Damon Wayans.
yeah.
So tell us more about that experience for you.
Well, Dennis is Dennis. He is he's he's fun to be around. He is legitimately crazy, and he used to say things to me, and he said, well, man. See, now here's the deal. Okay, um, so well, and then he'd go away, and I'd ask Sean. I said, what did he just say? And he said, and he started imitating, and I said, okay. But it's good working with Sean. He's easy to work with, and he's very, very good. And he was a producer of that movie too. And Duvall is, has some long, long talks with him between shots. And we were friends for a long, long time. And then he moved to the East Coast, got a ranch there, so I don't get to see him very often. Now he's getting pretty old, and so am I. But yeah. And who was the other one you said?
Don Cheadle,
Yeah,
Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans. Yeah, they were all so good and really, really good. It was a good cast. I didn't, I Dennis called me because I went in and I auditioned and I got the part, but I didn't want that part. I didn't want the part that I ended up with. I wanted to do the guy that was the head of the gang because I liked that part. And he said, no, no, I need you to do this. And I said, well, okay. All right. He said, and I'll give you a little extra money. I said, it's not about the money. It's just I thought I could do a good job with that. And he said, I need you to be the sheriff, not what sheriff, whatever it was I played. The He was the head of the department. He said, you can do that. And I went, oh, okay. And then also that's all you got to do is tell me you can do that, and well, I'll go do it. So and that's how we started the movie. I was talking to a group of people saying, it ain't gonna happen. So you got to be careful. And it was good. People remember that. So that was a good group of people. And I did one with Clint Eastwood too. That was my first movie. And that was really fun too, because he's really easy to work with, very easy to work with. Matter of fact, in one scene, my only scene, I had somebody by the hair, and I was robbing a store, and I had somebody to, let me out of here, I'm going to kill her, kind of deal. And Eastwood came over, and I put him on the floor. I had a shotgun, I had a gun in his face, and he got up, and he was going back over across the street to where his the rest of the cops were. And when he was going to the door, he was just going a little too slow for me and my character, and I was really into it. So I ran up behind him and I kicked him in the butt, and he just that caught him off guard, and you could just feel everybody on the other side of the street saying, "That kid is so fired." But he loved it. He went across the street, he got a car, jumped in it, did a 180, and came right through that window. And I had to jump under something to not get hit. And then I did get up, and he shot me and killed me. But people always remember that kick in the butt. You the guy that kicked Clint Eastwood in the butt? Yeah, that was me. I thought they were going to kill me, but he loved it. So that's the kind of guy he is. That was not in the script at all. I was supposed to let him go out. So, I've worked with some people. It's very fortunate to
That's
these
amazing.
people.
And how many people could actually get to say in real life, I kicked Clint Eastwood in the butt and lived to tell the tale? Like, that's
Not,
incredible.
not many, and I don't go around saying it, but I'll tell the story from time
No,
to
I
time.
love that story. And I want to
Yeah.
ask, with all your movies, to me, a one-man show always feels like a paradox. It's intimate, it's solid and solitary, but also a full orchestra conducted by a single person. You lived
Oh,
in that paradox with Geronimo for years. How did this project first take root, and why was it so essential for you to carry that story forward?
well, first of all, the way that you said that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. You're
Because
welcome.
that's what it is. Geronimo, I had wanted to do it for a long time because where I grew up, Lawton, Oklahoma, that's where he spent the last 15 years of his life at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And he was there.
It's
When I
okay.
start
You're
talking,
doing good. I love it.
when I start talking about that, I just get so angry. But he was in prison for in in his own country. He was in prison for the rest of his life. That wasn't the deal he made with Lieutenant, uh, whatever the guy's name was. That was not the deal. So I wanted to just tell his story. And I was talking to Michael Murphy, Michael, the singer, cowboy singer, at one of his shows one night, and then we went up to his room and we were just talking. We talked about Geronimo's Cadillac, which he wrote the song. And then I started telling him my feelings about Geronimo, and he was kind of like you. He was like, he said, Rudy, you should write a show, a one-man show about Geronimo, and you should play him. Well, that got into my mind, but I said, but I'm not a writer. You're a writer. I'm not a writer. So all this time went by, and maybe around 10, 20, probably 15 years ago, a cousin of mine called me that I hadn't seen since I was a little boy. We both grew up in the same town, and she is a writer, and she writes women's books, and they're really nice little things. But we were talking about Geronimo, and I told her, you know, what I told everybody else, I'd like to do it. But she said, well, I'd like a shot at it. And to make a long story short, about 6 months later, she sent the script to me. This blew me away. It was a little long to be a one-man show, but I asked her if I could edit it. And she said, honey, I wrote it for you. You do what you want with it. She's real okie. And I said, okay, I do. So the next 6 months, I edited that because I saw the story I wanted to tell. It was there. And the other stuff was good stuff, but it kind of pulled you away from the story. And that's good, for a book, but it's not good for a show. So that was the start of it. I started learning it. I started living it. I eventually got the money together to get someplace to work privately. And pretty soon I had it coming together. Steve Railsback came on with me, and uh, he was my director, and he kind of left me alone. But there was a couple of things right in the very beginning and right at the end that he gave me nuggets I would have never thought about. And one of them I didn't think I could do. And he said, yes, you can. And I said, no, I can't. I'm not that interesting. He said, yes, you are. And it was at the beginning of the show when I come in, and I pace back and forth, because I've just come from a meeting with Lieutenant Gatewood. And then I find my audience, and I'm walking back and forth, not even seeing them. And then I saw them, they saw me. And that was the beginning of the show. And it was powerful, very, very powerful. Sometimes I would go 60 seconds. Sometimes I go almost 3 minutes. And they were with me. So uh, when I did this, all I wanted to do was tell Geronimo's story, a story, and give him a voice he never had, a voice I feel that strongly that he deserved. And I think I did that in this show. And as a matter of fact, Geronimo, uh, I just got a message like yesterday that uh, there's something called the Wild Bunch Film Festival, and it's a film festival. And the guy who runs it saw my clip that I had, not the clip, but he saw it. Uh, so he said, would you like to be in the festival? And I said, well, it's not a film. It was just the last show it was all over the world with no audience because of the COVID. And he said, we have a new, what do they call it? A new uh,
Category?
category. Thank you, ma'am. New category. And he said, and this is perfect for that. So I said, sure, what I got to do? He tells me. So he told me, and I signed up, gave him some money. And then I got back. I'm in. There's 5 of us there. So now it's going to be in that festival. And that was totally unexpected. I actually, I didn't know he had not seen it. I knew him, but then he did see it. So again, something like good happens. When it's good, it's good. So I don't know. The festival is like the biggest festival, a Western festival. It's a Western festival in the country right now. So it'd be good because I'm going to be reaching more people and just telling the story that I wanted to tell. And that is the story I wanted to tell. So I'm happy about that. I'd like to be doing it now, but COVID shut me down for 2 years, and then it would be hard to come back and do it now. But it was a kind of show that I could do it however old I got.
Uh,
I'm old enough in that, but I don't think I could do it again. It's hard when you have to do everything, the booking and everything and travel. I'll pay your way. And I did. I never asked for money. I'd split the money with wherever I was playing. And I wasn't there for money. I just wanted to tell his story. And I got to. That's that's I'm very proud of that. More
that's
than anything. More than anything. More than anything as far as my film stuff. That one right there.
and that's fantastic to hear you talk so passionately about it, and just to hear that story, and then this, almost like the ending of a film that comes, and you're like, we want more of that. We want you to come into this modern festival and do it again. How many times do you think you've performed this one man show and now a whole new audience gets to see it? I mean, that's just so cool.
That you're right on with that too. A whole new audience is going to be seeing it. And I probably have done between 85 and 100 because I was out, for
Wow.
6 years
Yeah.
and traveling on my own dime. And I never advertised. It would just, uh, whoever wanted me, I'd go. I went from California to Mississippi. I went from Dallas, Texas to Utah. Wherever they wanted me, that's where I'd go. And it didn't matter to me if it was 60 seats house or 300 seat. We filled them up and then we split the money and I'd go on to wherever, home or somewhere else. But it was fun. And the audiences all loved it. I never had an audience that wasn't a standing ovation. People sometimes, especially the women would come up and sometimes they were crying and they said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I did not know. And they'd give me a hug and I'd give them a hug. And I said, well, now you do pass the word. And when I go to the autograph signing things, people come up and say, God, I wished he would have come to my town. I would have loved to see your show. And I said, well, do you have an email? I said, yes. And I go up, I said, give this lady right here, my wife, Kathy, give her your email and we will send you the link to the whole show. No charge. And if you like what you see, any of your friends, pass it on. If you think they're interested in it, pass it on. So I'm still reaching people and I'm not doing it.
That's
So
good.
yeah, I'm really happy about that. And you know, nothing's really changed. And that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
It, you know what I'm talking about. She knows what I'm talking about. It hasn't changed, but we have. So it's going to get better.
Yeah. Amen. There you
And
go.
when I say we, I'm Mexican and Indian. I'm not just Indian. So more Mexican than Indian. But I grew up, with Mexicans, blacks, and Indians in the south side of Lawton, Oklahoma. And that was a rough town too. So that's my background, and I never forgot that. So I'm 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 just glad that I could have the opportunity. You have to work, to have people know you a little bit, but to be able to do something like Geronimo,
Yeah.
in the films that I've done. I'm really happy about that. And I never wanted anything more than that, just to work. Once I got to work, I thought, yeah, I think I can make a living doing this, and I have actually.
It's cool.
So
Rudy, for our audience, is your Geronimo one-man show up on YouTube, or can it be after the upcoming festival? Because we would love to help you get a wider audience for that brilliant show, which I've seen, and it was amazing. I did see it during COVID, if you remember, when you
yeah,
did have it with no audience. You had to perform it on your own, and I know you usually feed off the audience, and that was challenging for you, but I remember it so well. But I would love to, is it on YouTube or another
no,
platform?
it's no, it's not. But anybody that wants that link uh, that I give away, they could go on Facebook
Okay.
and just leave me a message and leave me so I can get back to them. And then I want to, I don't want either send me your address, email address. Don't, I used to have people write it down and then they all get all fancy and I can't see a damn thing anyway. So that didn't work. So and also Instagram, you can do that and you can leave a message there. You don't have to be on it. Anybody can go on it and just leave a message that I would like to see your Geronimo show, and give me your email and I'll get it to you. Just like that. The day you send it to me, you'll get it. And then you watch it at your own convenience. And the same thing goes. If you like what you see, you believe it, pass it on. So, so that's
Rudy,
that's
I
the
also, oh,
that's the way that I would like to do it, other than get into another thing that I have to do to do that. Um, Facebook and Instagram is enough for me. I don't want any more. As a matter of fact, when I have to keep saying this to myself, whenever I stop acting, I'm going to get out of Facebook. It's just too crazy, too crazy for me. That's me being so old, though. That's me
yeah.
being
Well,
old.
talking about crazy, we need to go back to your first role on a huge Western. Probably Western fans know about this, but for other people, The High Chaparral, which was a massive television show in the 1960s. And you had one of the major roles. Your character's name was Wind, like fly like the wind. And Rudy, you became a massive global star. You even became like a teen idol.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I want to, we want to hear more about that whole trajectory that really, shot you up into acting
Yeah.
stardom.
Yeah. That was, I had done one show. Uh, I did one scene in Ironside in 1969, and then in 1970 they were trying to cast this new character on High Chaparral, and they had been on the air for 3 years, and they were big all over the world. And so whenever I got this part, um, it was really a good part. Mr. Dortort was a great, great writer, David Dortort, and he also created what was it? Bonanza, and that was a big one. So whenever I did High Chaparral, that character, whoever, if they could have cast it, whoever got the role, they were going to shine because it was that good. I'm the one that got it, and it just blew up. And I wasn't quite ready for that, but I knew how to act. I didn't know how to act on film. I didn't know anything about lights, camera. I didn't know where to stand, but everybody was so patient with me, and they were all stars before High Chaparral, most of them. So it was cool because after the season and the character had blown up and Chaparral was doing really, really well still, uh, they would send me on trips all over the country, for fundraisers and this and that, whatever. And the other people didn't want to do it. They said, no, no, send the kid, send the kid. So I went all over the world, just, because of Chaparral. But it was really a good show. I don't know. You know what? It's still on. I don't know what network I think it's maybe Me Too or INSP. And I still get people that send me on Facebook. Uh, I just saw you on High Chaparral. I didn't know you were in it. That kind of stuff. That's cool. It's a legendary Western, just like High Chaparral is like that Western. It's legendary, and it's funny. I think I told you that I started out on the world stage, High Chaparral, and now I'm real close to the end of my career on the world stage.
No, it's crazy.
Uh, yeah, it is crazy. I would have never thought that. I would just wanted to get keep out of jail in Oklahoma. And that's
Right.
all my friends when I left were in jail or they had gotten out of town or they were dead. And I left early at 18. So, it was just a rough little town.
Yeah.
So,
There you go. You talk hearing you talk about all of these productions. I mean, you've been a part of so many productions that span the poignant, the serious, the soulful, and the culturally seismic of importance. But was there ever a set, ever a shoot, ever a project that was just plain fun with no caveats, no gravitas, just pure delight personally for you?
well, Yellowstone's like that for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, Yellowstone's like that. And High Chaparral was really fun too because they had been with it for 3 years. They were all movie stars or television stars, so they knew how to have a good time and still get it done. Uh, so those two, yeah, they were yeah, High Chaparral and Yellowstone. Yellowstone was fun too. I mean, we had a lot of fun there. Just you know, there's a character named Mo Brings Plenty.
Yeah.
And he's very quiet and real smart, but he can be funny too. It's just, you just got to be at the right place at the right time with him, and he'll say something not much, but it's funny.
That's good.
He makes me laugh all the time. He's, come on, Rudy, laugh,
I love that.
because I'm always like real serious. So he's busting my chops about that. Come on, man, laugh, laugh. So, but a lot of the stuff I did early on was episodic TV. You're in and out in a week.
Mhm.
So you can't really have a whole lot of fun unless you're a regular. So if you're the guest star, you go in, you do it, you do your job, have fun with them. But I could see them having fun too, the other people that were regulars. So, but still, I'd say High Chaparral and
Okay.
Yellowstone. Yeah, they
Yellowstone. All right. Those are great.
I had another series I did for a year. It was a Western. No, it wasn't. It was a cop show. Can't think of the name of it, but I did 13 episodes. A football
Hunter?
player. Hunter,
Hunter?
yes.
Hunter.
Yeah, yeah. They had a lot of fun.
All
And
right.
again, I was only supposed to do 3 episodes, and I ended up doing 13. So somebody liked me there, but they had a lot of fun. The guy that was the star of the show, I forget his name. He was a football player and he was good too. And he was real stern most of the time, but when nobody's around, he's very funny.
It was
And
Fred Dyer, Fred Dyer.
Fred Dryer and the girl in it too, uh, his partner. She was real pretty. I can't think of her name, but she was a card. She was really fun. She made everybody laugh. So when you're a regular in a series and you do same thing over and over, day after day for maybe 3 months or 6 months, you learn to have fun on sets and still get your job done. If you're just messing around, no. And if you're a guest on the show, you best not be having too much fun because you can get yourself in trouble. I've seen people do that.
All right.
So,
All right.
you
That's
live
cool.
and you learn. I
Yep.
learned all of that. I learned all of that from the High Chaparral people. They all had a little nuggets for me. Uh, this young kid. And they always called me the kid. They were serious drinkers, especially a couple of guys, and they would never let me drink with them. They wouldn't let me play cards with them until one day we all got taken. We came back to the hotel we were staying. And they used to go right to the bar, and they said, "Come on in and have a beer with us." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." All right, let's go. So I went, had a beer. They had like two, whatever they were drinking, to my one beer. And then I said, "Well, I'll have another one too." And they both are having it. Mm-mm. I said, "No." I said, "No, one, get out, go back to your room." And they were serious. So, okay, go back to your room and smoke something or whatever. Just go away. We got it covered. So they were funny, uh, real funny.
I love these
Bob,
stories.
Bobby Hoy and forget my other guy, but they were buddies. They were real buddies, and they made everybody laugh all the time. Even Linda Cristal, she's such a beauty and so serious all the time. They made her laugh too. So
Awesome. Amazing.
she would do one of those whoop, whoop, whoop kind of thing. But I've had a good time,
Yeah, I
in my
want to
career.
bring it back to the Yellowstone universe and hear your thoughts on the prequels and the sequels. There's a lot coming up that hasn't even people don't really know about yet. So, what do you know? Tell us.
Well, the show that uh, Casey, the character Casey, Luke Grimes, uh, I can't think of the name of it. Uh,
Why Marshals, I think, is the working title of it.
why
The letter
Marshall?
Y Marshals. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the
Uh,
working title.
I don't think that the girl that I played her grandfather, Kelsey Asbiel, I don't think she's coming back, and I'm not sure why. Um, I might find out soon because I got a call yesterday um, about my availability. We all know what that means. So how I'm telling you first.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
so you're welcome. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I got a call yesterday. So uh, we'll find out. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good because Taylor wrote it. He's going to write probably all 10 episodes. He's going to direct all 10 episodes. And then he's got a good group of people that uh, not so much write, but some do. And then he's got some people that are his main directors. Um, so, but he'll do this first. And I think it's probably going to be good. Luke Grimes is a really nice guy, and he's a good actor. He's a very good actor. He told me once that, if I could do Luke the rest of my life, I'd be happy. And he's still doing it. And he gets offers all the time. He's also a very good musician, and he's got an album out now, and he's doing well with that too. So he's in heaven. Good guy though, and the kid that played my great grandson, Brecken Merrill, uh, he was 9 when we started, and he was an amazing actor. And he's not above telling you, no, that's not the line. He told me that all the time. I said, this is rehearsal. It's still not the line. Okay, how do you tell a 9-year-old? Don't. I said, so I'd get my lines right. But he's going to be in the show too. So I don't know how it's going to go, and we nobody will know until you get on the set because that's the way Taylor works. He doesn't like it out there. What I just told you, but that probably wouldn't bother him. But
Love
yeah,
that.
probably.
That's
So
cool.
so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it's a
We'll
good
be
group
on
of
the
people.
lookout for it for sure.
Yeah. Well, if something happens, I'll let you know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I had all of these stories and everything. They're so incredible. Because life has a habit of ambushing us with beauty and special beauty in the oddest moments. In your body of work, Rudy, was there ever an unexpected instance, whether it be a performance, a collaboration, even a line reading, that simply took your breath away precisely because it wasn't planned?
Oh, I think that happened a lot of times that it wasn't planned and they left it in
Hmm.
because it was not planned. Uh, that thing with Clint Eastwood left it in. Little things like that, not big things, just little things. Probably came mostly from people that I was working with. They had it, and I saw it. I watched it. But for me, mm, not a whole lot of things that I remember. Uh, one thing, well, I was doing a scene in Yellowstone. I was doing a scene with Luke Grimes, and there was something that I I I wasn't I didn't like what I was doing, and I told Taylor that, and he said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." And he said, "Well, we'll go with that." So what it was is I was telling him something very serious, and I actually leaned up and touched his shoulders when I was telling him, "You're not one of us." And if I would have just said that to him, it would have had, I think it would have had it would have been different. But
Yeah.
when I put my hand on him, that was a show of respect and love. But you need to do what I'm asking. I remember that. I
Oh,
do remember that. Yeah. And it
that's
was
for
in
sure.
that very first episode
Wow.
when I was telling him, you need to get off the reservation right now because it's going to be a war.
Yeah.
And it was. So, but I do remember that. I do remember my hand because I didn't whatever I was supposed to do, it didn't feel right just to do nothing. And Taylor's like that. I remember another time with Taylor, something again, I didn't feel comfortable with it, and I told him that something's missing, and I don't know what it is, or if it's me. Uh, something should be here, of a movement or word, or what do you think? Is it just me or what? And he said, uh, no, you're right. And so, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? If don't ask me, it was your idea. That's how loosey-goosey he gets. So I remember that too. Just one of those things that happened. It wasn't, it didn't change anything, but those little things I take away with me, remembering Yellowstone, little things like that.
That's the beauty in unexpected places. That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. You ask good questions. Thank you, both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you,
Yeah,
Rudy.
yeah,
It's been
yeah.
such a pleasure and so enlightening and inspirational to speak with you again. I've had the privilege of knowing you for about 5.5 years now.
Yep,
It's
yep.
been so wonderful. And I'm just thrilled to hear about some of the amazing projects you've done and how gratifying they've been, especially with Yellowstone. So Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you again. And I remember the lunch we had when we first met. And I follow you on Instagram. You know, you're one of my friends on there, and I'm always, looking at what you're doing next. So
Right
now,
back at you, my friend.
well, thank you. And your partner here, good work, good call. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rudy. It was a pleasure talking with you and having
Eh,
you on our show, Walk of Fame. This was fantastic. And we
yeah.
hope to have you on again and hear all the more good news you have coming forward.
Well, it was a pleasure working with you too, and I love the way that you ask questions. You have a way that it doesn't sound stupid. It's just like you know what I mean. It just the way that you said a few things to me, like the Geronimo thing.
Yeah.
That meant a lot to me. And just the
Thank
way
you.
that you said it, yeah. So no, thank you.